Specifically, what is the government or what is your ministry doing with regards to the youth and the women in the Niger Delta?
With the youth and the women, we have done a lot of empowerment. We have done a lot of training, because you have a lot of indolent youths in those 9 Delta areas, and that was what was the beginning of all this restiveness. There was a lot of distortion, most especially in pre-amnesty era, when a lot of people believed that maybe gangstering and being armed and doing all sorts of things is what we pay in terms of putting money in your pocket. So we are doing a lot of reprogramming, we are doing a lot of skill training, and in the 9 Niger Delta area, we started since 2011 building skills acquisition centers in all the 9 Delta states, and this will be complete in the first quarter of this month, and this will up our building capacity in the region.
Are you targeting women, as it were? Yeah.
Women, yes, women and youth.
But what statistics are you using then? Because people have a hard time getting the hang of the latest figures in the country.
That is part of our challenges. Part of our challenges is actual funding for these projects. Because when you do budget, you do budgetary allocation, you get appropriations. Often at times, you go to budget with all the dreams that you have, all the wishes you want to do there, and at the end of the day, it's what is appropriated that you can do, or it's what the government has for that project that can be carried out. That has been the main bane of the Ministry of Niger Delta affair. But we're trying very hard, and I think come this 2012, within the first quarter, well, our target this year is going to be a lot of capacity building for the women in that area, because my visits to the creeks shows that the women carry more burden than the men.
You do visit the creeks?
We do visit the creeks. We ride boats. We are life supports.
What do you see when you go there?
We see a lot of problems. We are passionate about a lot of corrections, and this is what we have been talking about, and this is what we intend to curb. We intend to do very plenty in that region, and with all this, you can see, for example, this East-West road that is the key to the access to the Niger Delta. Something is part of the projects that we hope will be completed maybe by 2013.
Are you concerned about perhaps fishing in the area, because pollution is a major problem in the region? We
have also agricultural schemes in that area, and we are going to work very hard on it. It's part of our mandate.
What about the oil spill?
The oil spills, the remediations, they are all things that the ministry is keying into.
Are you working with your counterparts in the Ministry of Environment?
We are. We synergize very plenty, contrary to what you think.
Because it seems that the ministry has been very dormant.
The ministry is not dormant. The ministry is talking, and the ministry has a vibrant minister in seat. And definitely, I think maybe with your comment this morning, we'll be able to give you some statistics of what they have been doing. They have been talking very plenty, and they have been working a lot. And under these ecological schemes, we do a lot of things. There has been a lot of remediation going on there. But part of these subsidy issues is what is causing all the spillages in that place.
How?
Because definitely, a lot of people are doing a lot of sharp practices which the government has identified, and this is what we are working on along with the oil companies.
Well, I know it's not your ministry, but some would say pure sophistry, talk with no sound or nothing, with any movement coming out of the Ministry of the Environment this morning. Perhaps maybe when you people meet, you have to tell them we discussed
environment, we talk with you very plenty.
Yes, because the people there, they send messages, and we have pictures of spills on a daily basis, and seeing that the government hasn't even done anything in that regard.
The government has. What I talk about is that what people want you to see at times is what you just see. And with a government that is talking transformation, with a government that is passionate about change, if the Mr. President, and I believe so much in Mr. President, if Mr. President actually wanted to shine and just be a good person, he would just keep docile and borrow like any other government.
Well, personally, would you subscribe to a cut in the emolument of executive officers?
Why not? If it is necessary, why not?
Don't you think it's necessary?
If it is necessary, and today we identify just like we did.
I know you're a lawyer. Let's take off some words now, some kind of logical words now. Let's take off the conditionality. If do you think it's necessary?
Our emolument. Do you know what we earn?
No one is speaking.
Let me tell you one thing. What you don't understand is that the present Executive Council The present Executive Council is the sacrificial lambs of the enjoyment of years of yore. The ministers in cabinet came into Abuja without even residences.
So what do they earn?
They just, some of them are managing like any other people. A lot of ministers are living in unbefitting accommodations. You can come and do statistics and find out. Only those maybe who happen to be in Abuja before appointment are really comfortable.
Are they doing their job for gratis?
Because the allowances that the government give cannot even get you a befitting accommodation.
That means it must be subsidized then.
There's no subsidy.
No, they should be calling for
subsidy. But there is not. That is the sacrifice that this government is making. You can confirm this from the Accountant General's office. You can confirm this by looking at the resident of the ministers.
That's another office people have been asking if it exists.
And definitely,
loads and loads of these offices and agencies, they don't get to speak up.
But I think
the other
that's
day we were looking.
Statement.
Honestly, the other day we were looking for a website.
Yes.
For a website of a particular ministry.
And you couldn't find it?
By the time we got it, it was as old as the days of Yaradua, and I'm serious.
Are you sure?
I'm very sure.
Well, I don't know which ministry you're talking about, but definitely what I have to say is that this is the most open government, very, very transparent and very, very open to issues. The ministers are ready to talk with you. The ministries are open to access by you. And I believe even our books, if you just want to peep in and see so that you can tell Nigerians what is really there, you will actually be surprised.
You still haven't told us how much you earn.
What I earn as a minister is basic. Even my rent is split into 12 months like any other Nigerian who is working. When I was in the Central Bank of Nigeria, in the 1st of January, the first week of January, I get all my allowances in bulk. In bulk. I get my furniture in bulk when it is due every 4 years. I get my housing in bulk. But when I came as a minister in the Federal Republic of Nigeria, my salary comes to 1/12.
Even if it's in billions?
It's not in billions. It's not in billions. How much is our salaries? You think we end up to maybe 1.5 million? We don't. We don't.
Sir.
But it's not for me here.
Shouting at home
it's private and it is confidential. But if you want to know, by the leave of Mr. President, you can know our salaries, the exact salaries. It's not for me to sit here and talk about our salaries, but I'm telling you one actual pain that you will not understand and will not think. A minister in the government of the Federal Republic of Nigeria is supposed to live in an opulent environment. Definitely a good environment that shows the respect that office has, but we don't have that leverage in this government.
Before you go, what should you be saying to Labour, to the NLC?
To Labour and NLC, I want them to pick up the SURE program. I will want them to read the documents that our impact analysis has churned out. And I want them to appreciate the contents therein.
You know, sorry, Madam Minister, it's not so much about what exactly is to come. I think that's where government seems to be misunderstanding Labour. Okay. Labour said we were still negotiating. Peter Asada said in very clear terms, you broke the round table. But we're still saying, how can we move from importation to full deregulation? But before we could agree, you had gone ahead to do what you wanted to do.
But do you know, if you wait for Labour, you will never get subsidy out.
In other words,
as painful as it
cog in the wheel of your progress as a government.
No, they are not. We are in consultation to inform them about what we intend to do. We are in consultation for them to understand what we need to do for the nation. We are in consultation with them to actually broker peace in the nation. We are in consultation with them to affirm the things that we intend to do to make Nigeria whole again. If for 15 years we have procrastinated on the subsidy issue, I think time has come that we should now actually believe in it. And believe is key in a transformation system, because a transformation system is something that the government brokered. Mr. President is passionate about it, the whole council believes in it, and we push it and we say it often, because we need to actually make Nigerians understand that we are here to give them what they actually need, not what is Labour or all the other people think they need. What we want to do is to actually deliver. And in 3-4 years' time, with what we now have on the ground, why I'm saying key into our project is that in 3-4 years, you can hold us accountable. You can hold the federal government accountable, you can hold the state governments accountable, you can hold the local government, transcending down to all the arms, because we have shown you what we intend to do.
Okay, we can tell you then that in that case, you have your work cut out for you to make the people understand what it is that you want to do. But